All right, welcome everyone. We are Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Assassination Classroom, Season 2, Episode 21.
Yes.
We got the Valentine's Day episode, and we got the extra little OVA bit with the skits and things like that. It was wonderful.
Yes.
And now, we're on to the next episode.
Indeed.
Which will definitely include some steamy scenes with Karasuma and Bitch Sensei.
I mean, moving in takes time, Jacob.
Kabedon.
I mean, yes, but
yes.
if Karasuma did that, he'd actually tear down the house.
Indeed.
He probably lives in a very traditional, kind of house as well.
Minimalist, very Spartan
the walls
approach.
aren't necessarily that strong either, so that's probably part of it as well.
But the whole bit with Koro-sensei, that's still ongoing, and the government is not exactly going to hold back. In fact, they have plans in store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And given that we're coming up,
on the end,
and
Shiro's still out there.
We mentioned it many times, but they keep kind of giving us all this wholesome, fun stuff.
But the OP still has Koro-sensei disappearing. So,
y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, way to go,
Nagisa!
Way to go, Nagisa! Yeah! All right. Okay. Oh, congratulations!
Yeah.
Terasaga's like, oh, I made it. Oh. A party?
Nice.
Celebrate!
Oh,
that's gonna be so sweet!
No!
It's gonna be so sweet!
It's gonna be unbelievably sweet. And if the guidebook to, the one spot that they went to was any indication, being super thick and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
This is gonna have pictures and memories and things like that.
Yeah.
So that when Koro-sensei's gone,
there'll
have plenty of tear fuel. Meanwhile, Karasuma and Bitch Sensei give each other different yearbooks, if you know what I mean.
12 months of Bitch Sensei, maybe, if you know what I'm saying. I get that calendar. Yesterday.
That is a lot of photos.
So he's been taking selfies.
30,000 of them.
With his speed, so that none of them could tell that he was doing it. Wow.
Right.
And so him taking those pictures in the previous episode was him prepping for this in a lot of ways too.
Oh. Wow.
Whoa. What?
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Wow.
All
Nice,
right.
Luffy. Yep.
Oh!
Yes! Oh, this is so sweet! Oh! Oh,
3,000 up, 30,000.
guys, you don't want to tear these up. Some of these might be one of a kind.
Wow.
Oh my god.
もしも俺が困れば迷わず君らを信頼し任せるだろうな
Wait, why? She's on cloud 9!
Yeah!
She's on cloud 9!
10 times
She probably did find some religion. Oh my god, Jacob! Look!
Yeah! Yes! Nosebleed and everything.
Oh, that was so
I love it. Wait. He's gonna carry him around.
Yes. Oh, yes! This is gonna be amazing!
楽しい
おう
ですよ。
Uh-huh.
いいからこそ手間暇かけて工夫して力の限り取り
Launch!
ますよ。
You better go!
Wow.
Go! Wait!
No, you are kidding. You are kidding. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness, this is so good.
That is incredible.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
さて、
Once you're
君は
done,
なり
go
たいもの
home.
を見つけられましたか、渚くん。
I want to be like
Koro-sensei.
you.
Not exactly.
僕は先生にな
Like,
るよ
not the same.
Exactly.
コロ先生みたいに速くないし、コロ先生みたいに無敵じゃないし、コロ先生みたいに頭も良くない。
Okay. Alright.
コロ先生みたいな先生に。
それがいい。君に合っている。しばらくは学校で寝泊まりですね。そうか。あなたとイリーナ先生の関係の進展も記事にせねば。この後、5時間ほど取材しますよ。
An exclusive
Wow.
interview.
Yep, yep. And he leaves.
やつは今、
Yeah.
教室にいます。
Shit.
この後、動くことはないでしょう。
3月6日予定通り今夜最終暗殺を発動する
Crap.
Right.
Oh no, what are they dropping from orbit? What are they doing?
Oh god. Is this some kind of sci-fi laser they're shooting at him?
Oh my god! What? No! No!
Just like that?
No!
このレーザーはあらゆる障害物を投下して触手生物の
Holy shit!
Damn.
一切の前触れもなく撃ち抜いた刺し物やつも
No way.
屋根も服も無事なのに、触手だけ。
なんと信じられんあれを
Wow!
なんという勘の鋭さだがね
Was it something in Karasuma's communication?
試しに逃げてみろ超生物逃げた先にはもう一つの兵器が稼働している
No
What?
way.
What is this?
Some kind of energy field barrier to keep him locked in?
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
Holy crap.
移送した地上施設群からレーザー
Holy
を
shit.
通過させ山全体を覆うバリアを形成す
Hope
る
it goes underground too. That'll contain the explosion.
Oh, they penetrate into the ground.
Okay.
They thought of
Right.
everything,
Yeah.
Jacob.
逃がさないための光の檻だここから先プラン D は大騒ぎ
What are they dropping into this barrier then?
Yeah.
地上部隊
Or what's already in.
B1 で緊急配備
Troops? You're kidding. You're actually kidding.
第2射充填まであと1週間かかります
Oh!
悟られないよう 20% の出力で撃ったのが災いしたなだが次は 100% で撃つ逃げられん
Oh, it'll just fill the whole
奴の
thing.
Yeah,
決
yeah.
定事項だ
Gotcha.
That's really smart. And they have to basically. Okay, okay.
That is interesting.
But that means
Okay.
that the barrier is something that
Can let
any of
the-
them can get through.
Oh, yeah.
that's why the
and that's why
troops
the
are
soldiers
here.
are there. Yeah.
They're not to
uh-huh.
go in, they're to keep people out.
Right.
大変なことになってるぞ
ご覧ください。あちらにいるのが
Wow. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
知れない先生に1年間も知られていた気持ちは
Wow.
Yeah.
言われているような悪い先生じゃないんだから。
おいこの子寄りで取れ
そう言えてあの怪物に言われていたの辛かったでしょもう正直に言っていいのよ
Wow.
Oh my
怪物は
god.
こんな痛いけな子供たちを人質に
This
してい
is
たの
a
で
classic example of Stockholm syndrome at work here.
Yeah.
取材の許可はしていないすぐに立ち去るんだ
Oh, Karasuma.
我々には真実を報道する義務が
興味本位で中学生を怯えさせて
Yeah.
義務だ現在ここは防衛省の権限で立ち入り禁止としている
Get the fuck out.
国民の安全のため退去願いたい
Couldn't
先
get
生に何
okay.
があったんですか
It's now a military compound.
政府は今日まで準備を進めてきた
Yeah.
最終手段を発動したんだ
It's a really good plan,
あの
too.
バリアのことですか
It works.
あれはあくまで奴を閉じ込めるための檻だ1週間後大出力のレーザーが奴を殺す
Oh.
俺たちの
So we're not gonna get that? No, no. He's gonna spend that week making the yearbook. That's what it's gonna be.
Oh god.
He's not gonna even try to get away.
Yeah.
諦めるんだ
嫌です。コロ先生と話してないことがたくさ
Come
んある。
on.
やりたいこともたくさんある。だからお願いです。行かせて。
行かせることはできないこれは国の方針だ
Okay.
いいかよく聞くんだ渚君俺を困らせるな
Oh.
分かったか
Okay.
So if you do this, you have to be perfectly
Yeah.
stealthy.
Uh-huh.
All right.
そうカラス
Okay. Okay.
まさかくん
We've got the stakes. We got everyone in one place.
俺を困らせるなってはっきり言っ
Uh-huh.
だからなんだよ
もしも俺が困れば迷わず君らを
Oh! Oh shit!
た。だから困らせるなは僕らを信頼し任せ
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
Yes!
島先生に信頼され
Yeah.
任されたんだ。
Okay. Way to go for picking up on that, Nagisa.
超生物の私に今さら恐れるものなどあろうはずがないただ一つ叶うなら
See them again.
Yeah, but that faded bit almost like he's welling up with tears in his eyes, you
もう
know?
や
一度だけ
Yeah! Ah!
Okay.
This is gonna be a very long, drawn-out goodbye, isn't this? Let's execute the mission, guys. Let's go.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Oh,
All right. All
this
right.
is so good. And then with the music here.
Yeah, the drone.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
They're heading out.
Oh.
All right. Let's go. Let's go. All right.
なすすべなし世界の誰もがそう思っているだろうしかしあいにく私はマッハ20の怪物だ幸いにしてやるべきことはいくらでもある
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
にふーどの写真も捨てがたいですね思い切って大蔵ページといきますか
Ah! Yes. Gotta be a thick stack.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh.
コロ先生暗殺期限まであと
3 hours.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh, final arc much?
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, God damn it.
All right, this is it. This is
right.
it. It's all going
Yep.
down here. We have 3
Uh-huh.
hours. We have a death
Oh,
laser
boy.
from orbit.
Space.
Now, there's multiple things they're kind of setting up here that
Uh-huh.
all need to be taken in because they're the foundation for what will probably be the entire rest of the story.
Yes.
Because Koro-sensei getting out of this is one thing. Mm-hmm. That's one thing.
Right.
You know, him having, you know, a 1% chance to blow up the Earth, that means that he is not going to blow up the second it hits, 3 hours.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
from his own, tentacles and stuff like that. The laser, however, is basically saying, no, this will be the time in which we take him away from you. So the world basically says you don't get to have any more time with Koro-sensei.
Yeah.
And they're not okay with that. So they spent the entire week prepping so that they could actually go in to be able to see him one more time.
save
Now,
him.
what they're probably only going to get, though, unless they actually do save him from this laser, which again,
So-
there have been some things that have set up for that, but that's what they need to do. They need to decide whether they're going to take on the world and shut down the laser or the barrier. Now, the barrier is probably easier.
So
But
okay.
okay, that's where we're at.
So here's a crazy thought that I have. I think this, and this is, I'm sure there's a small part of this that's denial, right?
Yeah.
But
Totally.
this is actually set up in a really good way to have Koro-sensei survive. Here's why.
Yeah.
The whole idea that there's only the 1% chance that Koro-sensei actually blows up, right? That's
Right.
great for them, bad for the world, because they don't want to take that chance. They're still going to try and kill
Because
him.
eventually a 1 will be rolled.
Well, no, they went over this. It's a 1% overall chance.
Yeah.
But that because the world actually came up with a very humane way of killing him, right? No collateral damage. It's not some, like, literally only tentacle cells are killed by this thing, right?
Yeah.
When this laser goes off, if it goes off correctly, they will expect for the laser to go off and for suddenly Koro-sensei to just not be there.
He'll be gone.
He'll be gone. If they manage to sneak him out somehow, I have no idea how they would do it, but if they do, then the world would have no way of knowing that Koro-sensei got out.
Right.
Because if the laser goes off and everything seems like it's good, and then Koro-sensei's just not there,
Yeah.
hey, we did it.
We
right?
did it, right?
And then Koro-sensei can be in hiding or whatever, and just, he can go at Mach 20, right? They'll never find him, right? Never even know that he is still alive. But
Yeah.
if they want to have something happen, they could literally have all of the kids in there when the laser goes off, and just like in the OP, he's there one moment and gone the next.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So,
So,
multiple things here. Karasuma basically telling them, I can't help you.
Right.
You've got to deal with this.
Yep.
Awesome. I trust you to be able to deal with this.
and it's
Okay.
wonderful because it's that whole coming of age thing. They're on their own, right? They've been trained. They know how to do this.
Karasuma gave him the, hey, make it an educational yearbook. Really go all out in this, because it's probably going to be the last thing you'll be able to give them. 2, the kids all coming up together with this plan and having 3 hours. That we didn't get the plan here.
No.
So that's probably going to be given in the next episode, which means I think that it's going to work. They're going to
Yeah.
get in, no problem. The question is, what kind of plan did they have to get him out? Because it has to be getting him out. If they just shut down the barrier, the main issue, like you bring up, is that then they'll know that he got out.
Right. They need to do the perfect assassination where they don't even realize that the target was hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So what do we have? Ultimate defense form probably won't be able to work on this here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So what that means is that they need to have some way to essentially stutter the barrier. Which, like how? So they're going to have made something over the course of this time without being able to personally go over and study the barrier.
Right. And one of the things that I think is really important of how they set it up is that
Yeah.
you could see the lasers for the barrier coming in from very far away. So the actual generators are nowhere nearby, right? They are very far away. So
I mean, they are visible.
yes. So you could
They're not
trace
that
it.
far away.
Yeah, you could trace it back to it and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
they're probably heavily guarded.
Right.
Yeah.
But heavily guarded and things like that. But it's, yeah.
So what they'll need to do in some way is mess with either the people's perceptions of what's actually going on,
Right.
so that they don't notice when it goes down or if it blips for a little bit,
Yep.
or find some way to bypass the rules of the barrier entirely and get him out despite it being up. Both of those seem extremely unlikely to succeed in the permanent sense. Thus, I think we're in for a really tricky situation. Karma apparently has something that he's going to pull once they get up there,
Right.
which is where he's going to basically transition to being the leader as Isogai mans the
Like
ascent,
the management
basically.
kind of a thing, yeah.
The initial leg of this. But they have a perfect plan. The governments of the world,
Yep.
they have a perfect plan here. It's
The
not
classroom is just a stalling distraction to keep him in a place so that, that way they can set up this thing. Because it's great. Like if you think about
really
it,
is, yeah.
because in order to set up something like this, you can't have a target that's moving around at Mach 20, right? But hey, you keep him coming back to the same spot.
Yep.
You can work around that.
Yep. And they probably spent the majority of the year just setting up and testing out
Oh,
the
sure.
things that would be able to make the barrier.
Which then gives even more reasoning of why Karasuma's been here this whole time, giving updates. Yep, this is
Keeping-
where he's at. Yeah.
Keeping everyone appraised of
Can you make him be in a
things.
location, guaranteed for, a couple hours on this day? Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, Koro-sensei, making a yearbook for them. God,
Yeah.
that's so perfect. Of all the things to do kind of the goofy, fun recap without it being actually recap and it actually being all basically new stuff. Like every photo that we saw was of something that we had never seen from that angle before or actually seen at all. So it was like the spirit of recap by it being something where it's like, look how far we've come as a class and as a family, as a group of people. But we came this far because of Koro-sensei, and so Koro-sensei is going to give a massive just showcasing of his love for them and care for them in a yearbook summary bit, and that's such a perfect way to do it.
The fact that Koro-sensei is basically just like, all right, I'm in here. Okay, this is it. And he's just working on the yearbook and cleaning up the classroom and everything. Oh my God. Like that, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I don't know what will. Like
his one wish just is like, if I had one wish, I just want to see them.
I would like to see them again. Because and I feel like that was something where we start to see the cracks with the sort of the persona that Koro-sensei would put forth for the kids and being a teacher and all that stuff. And we got to see a bit more of the old assassin, right?
Yeah.
Where he's thinking like, oh, no, it's not going to do anything to me. I'm a super being, right?
Right.
Oh, but maybe it will. But I'd still like to see them one last time.
Yeah.
It rips your heart out. And this is after all the wholesome, happy stuff of, hey, let's do a yearbook and Karasuma and Bitch Sensei being like,
we
oh
still
my
got
God,
at least a week, right?
Yeah.
We can take it easy.
We're gonna move in together.
Screw these photos. I'm ripping them up. What's just so sad about that?
They are going to regret every single one of those photos that they tore up. And that's
because that's just another photo that they would
youth.
have of Koro-sensei.
Yep, or that Koro-sensei took. That he saw this moment and he thought it was precious.
I mean, he
wanted
put
to
himself into every single photo. Like,
well,
I mean, that's why he said selfies.
Well, yeah.
And he can flex in that regard where he takes a selfie where they don't even know he's there.
Exactly.
So that's yeah.
Oh,
the ultimate ghost photo bomb. I love that also as well as a goofy gimmick in that Koro-sensei has been with them all along because he's constantly, photobombing his way into their lives in goofy ways. And yes, perv teacher, absolutely.
Sure.
But also just like, no, I really do care about you all, and I want to cherish these memories in a selfish way because they were precious to me.
Right.
But I'm not going to be around forever, so
nope.
I don't have the gift of youth, basically, the time,
Mm-hmm.
that you all have so much of, and I don't. So I'm going to basically immortalize myself, hopefully, in your hearts through these memories here. And I'm just like, okay, well, all right. I was able to hold back pretty much all my tears this episode, and I'm like, all right, because that means in about episode or two, that's what it's all gonna just be there. But all right.
And one of the things that I also love about this is that since there's so many episodes left compared to like how much time is left in universe till Koro-sensei's supposed to be gone.
Yeah.
3 hours.
By the laser. I think they're gonna find a way.
I hope
think they're
they
gonna
do.
find a way.
But that's something where so one of the things that can sometimes kind of mess up my enjoyment of a story. Usually this is the case with like books, but where I know that we're not near the end, right?
Oh, sure.
And then as a result of that, it's like, okay, whatever the conflict is
middle
here,
of a trilogy.
Right, exactly. It's not actually that big of a deal because we're not at the end, right? But given that we are very much at the end of the story within 3 hours left, basically, right? But quite a few episodes, like what, 4 episodes or something?
Yeah, I think there's 26 episodes or 25 episodes in season 2.
I have no idea when to expect the emotional punch. Because it could be next episode where the next episode is just the 3 hours they do the plan and it works or it doesn't, right? Or it could be 3 episodes from now or 4 episodes from now, right? We could get an episode after where it's happy ending, they saved him, and now we get to see where are they all at and whatnot, and when they do their, middle school reunion or something like that, right? Koro-sensei's there and it's wonderful and wholesome. Or the last episode could be, okay, they hold the funeral. Like, it could be any of those things.
Yeah.
And I really have no way of knowing. Like, no amount of like meta thinking about this will really help here because
Yeah. This is a really good build up to a finale for a series.
It is absolutely excellent. Like, because the whole idea of the assassination, like since the beginning of the show, I never really cared about the assassination, right?
Not really,
I cared about the characters and how they would all come together and how Koro-sensei was teaching them, but the assassination was all just a way to make the mundane more exciting and fun, right? The wonderful, wholesome life lessons that these kids are learning, that oftentimes we might learn things similar in our days of youth, but we don't appreciate them because, it feels boring or whatever,
Ignorance
right?
is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, exactly. But now, I'm like, oh, damn. I'm actually really curious to see how this assassination, or unassassination goes down.
Works or
because this is because all the stuff up till now, right? It's sort of like these might be, clever tactics or things like that, but they can't work because this is the assassination classroom, right?
Right.
If it is going to work, it's going to work at the end.
Yeah.
But
we're near the end.
Well, we're near the end, and oh my God,
and it's not over.
And this very much feels like something that the world would come up with if, it'd be something crazy on this level if the fate of the world is at stake. Like, yeah, the kids are gonna come up with some really good plans and things like that, but the adults aren't idiots.
No, they put a total 100% chance of success. Into this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Do you think there's a possibility that they could get them to not fire? So remember the build-up of Karasuno being like, if I'm ever in any trouble, I'll trust you without hesitation, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this is the kind of series, though, where they would end with Karasuma and Bitch Sensei doing nothing? I think they're totally going to do something.
I feel like in some ways Karasuma already has done something and that he passed on the torch, but I would love for him to do more. But yes, Bitch Sensei I do feel like needs to be a bit more involved.
Okay, so I have an idea. In the episode where they went to space,
yes,
one of the thoughts that I had surrounding that was, oh, that's a little bit interesting. Space. All right, cool. Yeah. That's where the data is. Now we know why the data was in space.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But what if the people...
They were doing other things in space, too.
Right. What if the people that are potentially even... Cause there's no way this whole satellite weapon thing here is completely remotely, controlled, right?
No, it totally could be.
It totally could be?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was, imagining this,
Science is terrifying.
Yes, that's true. But I was imagining this idea of where you have... one of the astronauts that was one of the ones that went up there and was there.
And he just wouldn't fire.
And he was just holding it there and he's like, give him 5 more minutes. And just like, give him 10 more minutes.
Yeah, that would be really sweet.
And they're like, you're fired. You're like, you're gonna be court-martialed. You'll never leave a jail cell.
You'll never see the sunlight again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah,
you can do whatever you want.
You never want to me. I'm giving them 5-10 more minutes.
I love that.
That
would be really cool. I think I personally would prefer for it to be something where it truly is sort of like the kids doing this, because
I do too. I'm just trying to think of the third option because there's only really 2 options. They both involve them firing, but it's whether they fire and they hit Koro-sensei, they fire, they don't hit Koro-sensei.
Right.
And mine is like, well, what if they eventually fire and hit Koro-sensei?
So yeah, on that note. Nagisa is getting ready to be a teacher. And, he wants to be a teacher like Koro-sensei, right?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate evolution of being in Koro-sensei's class. Now they all can do their own thing. They all can do whatever they want to do. They don't all need to be teachers. But the assassination skills are not the real lessons that they got from Koro-sensei, right? It was the things that was part of it. But it was,
they get translated into lessons.
Right. But it's the helping them grow as people, right?
Yeah.
If there was some way, I don't know how they would sell it, that the kids could basically then teach the world somehow, because we had the whole bit with the reporters and everything and all the misinformation and the
pitying them,
pitying and the he was keeping you hostage and things like that. I like that. Once that happened, and then it's like, there's going to be a week of time. That made me wonder if it was going to end with actually the students doing some kind of broadcast or whatever. Because if you think about it, the very idea that Koro-sensei is still alive right now is because of the government's own desire to cover things up. Because what they could have done is they could have started with the field. They could have started with the energy field and then immediately fired the laser at 100%.
And they didn't. Because they probably they're like, okay, if the laser happens, then cool, some people might see a little flash of light or whatever, but that's going to be a lot easier to cover up than, all right, there's this big energy dome and then a massive laser that comes down and strikes the area, so
right?
We need to make everyone okay with the idea of what we're about to do in a week.
So that then when we tell people, so we make them okay with what we're about to do in a week, but then also so that they only find out about it when we're able to say that we've got it under control.
Right? Sure.
And that's why they do all this stuff. And then the things like, there's only a 1% chance, because that totally would have been passed up the food chain by Karasuma, but that's not a convenient
it's not a convenient story to tell the public.
Right, exactly. So they don't.
So they would panic.
So if we get to a point where then the students are able to basically shine a light on it, kind of.
Okay.
I don't know if that wouldn't be enough to convince the government for sure, but maybe that could be something where
people could rally behind them.
Yeah, I don't know, because there was.
I think so, maybe, but
I don't know how that would actually work out, but the part where they were sending the messages back and forth, and we got that montage of that, and with the music in the background and everything, and them all
music was really good.
them processing it and being like, okay, we're gonna do everything we can to help and stuff. God, that scene is probably my favorite scene in the show, up till now.
The text messages?
I don't know, man. It was incredible.
Okay, yeah. Favorite
I
scene in the show, though. Wow.
And again, recency bias. So you know, who knows? When the show's over and going back on things. But that was so good.
Yeah.
I would love to see something like that happen beyond just the group of the kids, because it felt very kind of power of friendship in the best way, in a very believable way.
Sure.
And even if none of them end up being teachers other than Nagisa, I would love for them to take what Koro-sensei has taught them and still kind of share it with the people around them.
But they are. That's kind of what this is. This community of the kids. They're all doing that with each other in a lot of ways. No,
right. But with people that didn't get the chance to experience Koro-sensei's class.
No, I got you. But I think that's a guarantee. It's just as a question of whether it will happen in the localized period of time when Koro-sensei is alive.
Well, right. Is that something that's going to basically, we'll just know that happens in their lives in the future, or will it be something that we see in the show and becomes a contributing factor to the plot resolution?
That was Nagisa teaching the girl.
No, right. But
that was where the assassination techniques were helpful.
Exactly. And that's a great example of it. But in that case, it's something where Nagisa specifically is trying to be a teacher, so that feels like a much more natural way for it to be worked in. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I just feel like that's the kind of one where it only makes sense to show it right now.
Yes, totally.
So we're going to get that eventually. It's just as of right now. Yeah. Karasuma, though, being affected by this and having this be a thing where he's I really want him to be involved in the conflict of things moving forward, because what I think is going to happen is that the laser is going to be fired. I think you're right in that it is going to be something where they will think they got him. And it's going to be a thing of where that's why there's so many still episodes left, is that they'll be able to get him out in an episode or two, probably in this next episode here. But it's going to be a thing of where they're like, oh, but now we're on the run from the government, you know? Like, there's no way they're going to be able to do this so perfectly that the government won't suspect something. Like, they won't just be, like, they won't be able to perfectly hide it. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
They've got cameras all over this. They've got, like, eyes of the world on this. There's no way it's going to go flawlessly.
And if you think about it, the flawless victory actually would be convincing the world that Koro-sensei doesn't need to die, because ideally you would want Koro-sensei to continue teaching.
Well,
right?
Yeah, but there's no way that's gonna
Yeah, I know.
happen.
We're not getting that true, perfect, happy ending.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, is that's like flawless on top of flawless.
Right. Yeah.
That's flawless
double S
victory.
tier.
Yeah,
Like,
that's double S tier. I'm
Yep.
saying that we can hope for an A victory here.
Yeah.
Which is basically that the kids get more time with Koro-sensei.
Sure.
And I would say that's about it.
And that's I would say that's something that I would say we can be safely
bank
guaranteed
on.
of. Yeah, exactly. Because since the field doesn't actually hurt anything other than tentacle life forms, they can just go in, and I love that, because it's something where like it's not like, originally I was thinking that it was going to be something where it's all right, make sure it's after hours because the building of Class E is going to be eradicated. Like there's going to be a smoking crater,
Same.
you know, and that's going to be it, right?
But there's no way they would fire something from orbit
Yeah,
at
like
that kind of level, because any kind of payload attached to it with driving enough force to kill something like Koro-sensei would damage the city around it in a devastating
probably.
way.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
you just
right, they
can't
just wouldn't do that. But so it's, you know, they really thought this through, right? That
Yes.
like the adults are going for, you know, the world at large is going for that 100.0% flawless, you know, super flawless victory.
Yeah. And they might not get theirs, but if the kids get more time with Koro-sensei, it better not be less than 3 hours.
That conversation.
Because that's just
It could be,
mean.
though. It
So-
could be. It could literally be they get in, and then there's the 10 minutes or whatever before the laser, last conversation. It's not going to work. And then he goes to each of them individually and tells them something, and
It's
then
just not enough time.
flash of red light.
Yeah. If they go for the 2 episodes of just getting in, you know, and the 3rd episode is basically a real-time section
Yeah.
of 20 minutes, that'd be ballsy as hell. What I would love to have, personally, is a thing where they basically have... They personally have a moment where they said in this episode, it feels wrong that we're the ones not doing it, basically, right? But I would think that Koro-sensei doesn't want them to be the ones to do
Right,
it.
exactly.
And yet, if I think about the way that they could give us the maximum emotional impact for this end, it's that they succeed, get him out, brings us to a really high high.
Yeah.
We start to say goodbye to him in the sense that there's no way he can just go on like life is normal. And it's the cat has to leave so that
Right.
they can go die in a way that doesn't bring anyone else
Yeah.
down and be a burden to them. And yet they deny that, because then they're like, well, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
Then we'll do it. And then he's going to be like, oh, no, I don't want any of you to actually turn into me.
Right. There is an image that I've had in my head for a while now for this show of Koro-sensei's tentacle wrapping around Nagisa's hand as he holds a knife. You know, and
It's like, don't.
yeah. Like,
That's going to end me. That's going to end me. If we get anything remotely similar to that. Because I feel like that's what makes sense. It's what just
right.
makes sense.
Like imagine they get him out and then they find out, oh no, it's going to be the 1%. And it's like 3 minutes before it's about to happen, you know. Right? It's the readings, they can tell that he's starting to destabilize or something. And it's like, you need to do it now.
Koro-sensei
You know.
cannot leave Earth's gravity.
Right, because it's like Mach 22 or something that's the escape
Yeah,
velocity.
he's just
Yeah.
slow enough to where he can't get out without being assisted,
Right.
which means that he can't actually save himself or
Right.
save the Earth himself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Now, theoretically, if he was working with humanity, they could put him on a rocket and then he could go out, you know. But
yeah, but then they would have to be in that state where they're like, we have to trust that you'll never come back.
Exactly. We have to trust that you desire to die. Yeah.
Which,
to
yeah,
save the
there's-
world. Right. There's not bank. They're not. There's no way they're
he's
banking
still
on
a
that.
human being.
Sure. Yeah.
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 Ah,
Oh boy.
but The bit where we saw his kind of first person POV as well of like looking at the class, and he was just like, if I had one wish, I'd want to see them again. It looked like that kind of fuzzy kind of look where it's he was welling up with tears in his eyes, but that was good. Okay, lots of little goofy things this episode though.
10 times a day.
Gamu.
Oh my God, yes.
And then also the student cosplaying as Luffy with the pose for like what, Gear 3 or something like that.
Right. I think from
Gear
Marineford
2.
specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
And everything but the mast. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a little straw hat on the side there.
Right.
But also Bitch Sensei and Karasuma
just glowing.
Well, she's glowing and drooling, thinking about like, come April,
10 times a day.
And but also the sneaky cosplay wedding photo.
Yes.
Of like
that was great. And then when Koro-sensei, when Karasuma is about to leave, because Koro-sensei is going to get cordoned off and have the laser shot at him, and he's like, hey, a 5-hour interview for all the details on your guys' relationship. And he's like, no, of course not. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
He's not denying the relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's just saying, no, that's private, and I'm not telling you.
Right.
Which, my shipper heart. Like.
You won, Jacob.
Yeah, I've won. Yeah.
And they're actually following up on it from the previous episode where she's literally like thinking about nothing but the fact that she's just like,
but at the same time,
S is mine.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, this is right before the stuff happens that kind of changes the dynamic with regards to Karasuma, and I'm curious to see because Bitch Sensei knew, maybe not that this specifically would be happening, but her and Karasuma had that talk last episode, right?
Yeah, they did.
And I'm curious to see what would happen if they had any talks from here on out.
Yes.
Because like, yeah, she knows the world of adults, right? She knows that these kids would have to deal with something like this eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
But, like if Karasuma does end up helping them out a little bit at like some crucial moment to be like, what? I'm not helping you. What are you talking about? Yeah.
It's not like you're my family or anything.
Right, exactly. It's not like you're all our 29 children, one of them being virtual. Like it's no, definitely not, definitely not.
No. But thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.